Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Johanna. I like Lego. Hope you're doing well. So if you're a long-term watcher of this channel, you may go, oh my gosh, have you finally bought your Sesame Street set? Yes, it's taken some time. I got it secondhand, but I got it from Ben because he got it for me for my birthday, which is very exciting. It's one of these sets that I really wanted to make a review about because it's one of the sets that I kept talking myself out of because there was enough things that I wasn't sure about enough for me to kind of want to buy it. So I have a lot of thoughts in this set, and because I've been so unsure about the set for so long, I thought it'd be maybe useful to break down my thoughts on this set and why I ended up getting it and how I ended up getting it for you to kind of maybe make your own decision on this set, because I don't think I'm the only one that's on the fence on this set. Now, first of all, let me just get the most obvious thing out of the way. This set has the best minifigures. Like, they're so much fun. Their moulding is perfect. They make me so happy. They're so faithful to what they're trying to replicate. It's great. I love the minifigures in this set, and that was probably my biggest draw to this set as well. Now, when I saw that this set got approved on LEGO Ideas, I got quite excited because it was a building, and I love buildings. You all know I love buildings. This was kind of already approved by the time I got into the LEGO hobby, so it wasn't really something that I'd been voting for or rooting for, but I knew it'd been accepted, and it was a huge sort of like modular open back type Ghostbusters style house, and I got excited because I love the buildings. Now, rightly, as anything that gets announced after like LEGO has made it production ready, this set got scaled down a lot and people weren't that excited about it when they announced it, which fair enough. Like, obviously we voted on a modular house and it ended up being sort of like an open back play set, so you can see why that was the apprehension with people. But it still has amazing minifigures, even though not as many as the original set. Basically, I don't think I would have bought the original set if they had produced it the way they had it, because it would have been crazy expensive. And you know, I like Sesame Street, but like not enough to spend that much money on it, I don't think. So I can see why they would have scaled it down. As with anything that has a lot of really custom specific details you need to add, this set does have a lot of stickers. Because I bought it secondhand, all of them were perfectly applied and I didn't have the pain of doing that myself. I personally don't mind stickers too much, but there is definitely a huge amount of them in the set, be aware. Now, the reason I have been on the fence on this one for so long, it just doesn't feel finished to me. I don't mind that it's an open bag house, but because of the orientation of the Hooper store here on the corner, it just doesn't feel like it's like, from no angle can you look at this set and feel like you're looking at a display piece. If you think about the amazing Winnie the Pooh house that they've released later, like, that's a fully enclosed displayable set. This is just nothing like that, because as much as I probably wouldn't have minded an open back to this house because front would have been displayable, because they have the Hooper store here which is open on the side, it just doesn't feel finished from this angle. Now, for the IP of Sesame Street, I think that makes sense to a degree, because obviously Sesame Street is for kids, like it encourages play and exploration. So I understand there is probably some sort of thinking that went into, like, we want to capture the essence of Sesame Street in this set and kind of make it sort of like colourful and children focused. However, I think because of the line this was produced in, LEGO Ideas, you're definitely going to go more to a primarily adult audience, and it definitely has the adult packaging. So I feel like, though you could probably justify that it's a playset because of the IP of Sesame Street, I don't think it was in the right line, and I think because it was going to a primarily adult audience who tends to want modular buildings and things they can add to their city or display, this just didn't quite hit the right mark, I don't think. I would really like to understand why they made these decisions and what kind of because it could also be that maybe Sesame Street stipulated that they wanted certain things in order for them to give them the IP, so that would be something that I'd really love to understand. However, I feel like as an adult collector, the fact that it's still so open everywhere makes it less exciting for me, and is also the reason that I haven't purchased it for so long, because it didn't really feel like something that I could add to my city. Basically anybody that I've watched on YouTube that has added it to a city has either mocked it with the fantastic Ben Builds Lego instructions, or has mocked it themselves to kind of make a difference to it. Like, nobody has left the set untouched, even if they're just putting this on a shelf, unless you're just collecting idea set. So if you want to incorporate it into any kind of display, people tended to mock it, and I think that's quite telling. Whereas, for example, with the Winnie the Pooh house, which I feel like I want to compare this one to quite a lot, because obviously Winnie the Pooh is a kid's show as well. The Winnie the Pooh one can just sit in a city ready because it's fully enclosed. And because the set is 110, so just over £100, that felt like enough of a sort of barrier for me to like be cautious about it. I think it's probably over that price mark because of all the specialist moulding that I had to do for all the amazing minifigures, which I'm super glad we have, by the way. I think it's awesome. But because it was over the £100 mark, I was more cautious, because anything over £100 I feel like I have to really think about and budget for, whereas with things under £100, occasionally, if I'm having a good budget month, I may do a splurge. So I ended up actually buying this used from a fellow collector, so that kind of meant that I was kind of reassured that probably all the stickers would be fine, but it would also mean that I didn't have to spend a full amount on it, because I just don't think I ever got to the point where I was willing to spend the amount of money it cost to get it. I ended up asking for it for my birthday actually, and Ben was going to buy it for me full price as my birthday gift, and I think that was the only way I probably would have ended up having it if I hadn't found it secondhand, because I don't think for myself there was always other sets I'd rather have over this one for that amount of money, essentially. So I want to kind of go into the good parts. This set is super, super colourful, which actually building it makes you really happy. It's such a bright, fun set. Like if you go into the back and the details of the house, they used really bright primary colours for like the floors in these buildings, and actually that makes it really fun. There is a lot of play features. I would really genuinely like to know what the IP, like what the stipulation was from Sesame Street in order to use their name, because I really want to know what they stipulated it needed to be. Because obviously they have sort of like a brand protection. I really, really genuinely want to know. But it feels really fun, colourful, exciting inside. There's a lot of fun details. It has like the playful feel. It really feels like Sesame Street. And actually to a degree, I think I prefer the interior of the set to the exterior, because I feel like the interior, yes, it's playful and primary colours and maybe not necessarily something I would ever build, but it feels like it captures Sesame Street in sort of a nostalgic and fun way. And the builds of like the little train going out of the bed and like the bath and the beautiful beds, like all of that makes me really happy. So I think the interiors actually are possibly my favourite. Then we have the really cute, sorry, I want to call her Pino because that's what like we call it Pino in the Netherlands, but I mean Big Bird. Big Bird's nest is really cute. I really enjoyed it. Details of it. My one problem with the build, like the house itself, is I really wanted there to be a window here because it feels so like it's so bare. Obviously they've built it compared to like what the Sesame Street house looks like, but I'm not familiar with the like American Sesame Street enough to know if this is accurate or not. If you're not from America or the UK, you know this, but every country has their own version of Sesame Street. So I grew up in the Netherlands, so like the Netherlands Sesame Street was very different, and there was people on bikes and there was different type of houses. Like it wasn't in New York, and we had like Big Bird, but Big Bird was called Pino and she was blue. So there's lots of like changes depending on where you grow up. That's another reason actually that I also wasn't as like must get it now with this set, because as much as I know Sesame Street and I have nostalgia for Sesame Street to a degree, this is not the version of Sesame Street I have nostalgia for, because as I said, in a lot of different countries, Sesame Street looks different depending on the country you're in. I still wanted the figures. I wasn't nostalgic for it. The price was too uncomfortable for me, and the build wasn't entirely something that I loved. So you can see that there was actually quite a lot of elements that stopped me from like sort of committing to it. Don't get me wrong, now I have it, I'm really excited for it. I think it looks really cool. I am going to take it apart and use it as a facade thing somewhere, so I'm going to mock this very, very heavily somewhere. However, I'm really glad I've got it, and I especially am very glad that I've got the minifigures, because let's be honest, that's what I'm excited for. If the rumours are true and we're getting a Muppet like CMF series next year, which is still a huge rumour, please don't put your hopes on it, we don't know this for sure, then having the Sesame Street ones I think is really important, and I think the value of these is going to go up because they are so unique, but the building still isn't my favourite. So, conclusion. If you're on the fence on this build and you don't know if you want it but you want the figures, I think there is an argument, unless you really want to use the bricks in order to mock something, to get the figures just on their own from Bricklink. They're not cheap because they're really unique molds, but I reckon if you wanted them, you can probably find them for like £10 a piece. Some a bit more, some a bit less. And you probably could have a really lovely just minifigure collection. I don't think you need to spend £110 on this set to get the minifigures. I don't think it's good enough for me to be able to say if you just want the minifigures, just get the whole set. Unless you're going to be able to sell the thing or you want to use a brick and not to mock, just get the minifigures on their own. That being said, if you like unique printed elements, this set is really fun. So there's a really cool billboard on the side of this building for Biff and Sully's Construction Co, which I love and I really want to incorporate in the city somewhere because it's just such a fantastic little billboard. There's some other really fun elements. There's a fantastic TV build. There is a lot of really fun accessories in this set that I think will probably make their way into my city separately because I really enjoy them. So if you like interior details, if you like specific elements, if you like the stickers in a set, then definitely go and buy the set. And even if you're not entirely sure about the building completely, there is enough fun and value that you can get out of the set if you bought the whole thing. Alright, I think that is pretty much all my thoughts on it. If you have any concerns, if you want to ask me any questions about the set in order to maybe make up your mind on the set, let me know in the comments. Very happy to help and kind of answer any questions on the set if you have them. If you have any more information about the IP distribution on Sesame Street, let me know because I'm super curious. And yes, thank you so very much for watching. I hope that was useful to you guys. I will speak to you all very soon, no doubt. Don't forget to like, subscribe, maybe become a member if you want to support the channel. That would be fantastic. And I will see you all very, very soon. Have a fantastic rest of your day. See you all later. Bye! Howdo!